Are the Thunder destined for an early playoff exit?
I hate to say another thing that would stun me, but this one would stun me. I think the Thunder were some of the biggest winners of yesterday. I think if Denver had fallen to 4, absolutely, I would have been on here today, I think, saying that we're very in play to repeat history. Because Denver at 4 would be playing them in round 2, and that they're going to continue that trend. But now in round 2, they are going to get most likely the Rockets, who I think they would trounce. Or if the Lakers have gotten there, I guess that we assume that means Luka's back. If Luka's back and at full strength and Austin's back, I don't think Brew would. I would give the Lakers a shot.
Oh, yeah.
But
now, what type of shot would you give them, percentage-wise?
1 in 4, 25%, something like that. But I think it's more likely that we see Luka than that we see Luka at full strength. You know, I think Luka might come back if the Lakers extend round 1, but will he be fully operational Luka? And so this is the exact bracket they wanted, and they got it. And so getting the Spurs and the Nuggets both where you're only going to have to play one of them and it would be the conference finals, we're not considering the conference finals an early exit, right? If they make the conference finals and lose?
No.
So my answer is no, I don't think they are. I didn't think we usually don't think these other teams are, and then they lose, but this would be stunning to me if they don't make at least the conference.
Yeah, I agree. No, they are not destined for an early playoff exit. Now, I will say this. We didn't expect Indiana to make the finals. We didn't expect Indiana to push OKC to 7, and who knows what would have happened had Tyrese Halliburton not gotten hurt. So, but I think one of the benefits for OKC, one of the things that they have going for them, I wouldn't be surprised if they feel a little bit disrespected in that so many people are talking about San Antonio. San Antonio did beat them handily in the regular season. So I just think that they have a lot of material where they can go to play the disrespect card. They can say, people only think we beat Denver last year because Aaron Gordon played on a bad hamstring. People only think we beat Indiana because Tyrese Halliburton got hurt. People think San Antonio's better than us. Despite our great record, number 1 seed, playing without our second best player all season, people think we aren't that good. Like this, they have a lot of ammunition for that.
All right, honestly, none of that holds any weight, because Oklahoma City is a legitimate elite-tier squad. They're exceptionally well-coached, thoroughly prepared, and fully locked in to compete. You see, they don't care about any of that outside noise. Absolutely none of it matters. Not in the slightest. When you genuinely belong to the upper echelon of NBA teams, you have no need for so-called bulletin board motivation, stuff like, oh, they claimed we weren't good last year, or they said we only won because, that kind of chatter doesn't even register with them. Their sole focus is delivering the most refined, highest quality basketball they're capable of playing. Why? Because this group is obsessively detail-driven. Hold on, this isn't just some random hot take. This is the Oklahoma City Thunder we're talking about. This isn't the Detroit Lions situation right now. So I'm asking myself, what exactly are we fabricating here? Before I dive any deeper, I want to make sure everyone knows, I'm uploading this to the football channel, because I'll be live streaming a bunch of these basketball games, specifically the playoff matchups. So even if you're not a diehard basketball enthusiast, feel free to jump into the live chat just to hang out and talk. It's always a good atmosphere. Obviously, we did this for many of the NFL playoff games. And if you are a basketball fan, then please do come check it out, and definitely visit the basketball dedicated channel, JWL Hoops. That's WHE. All the basketball commentary lives. I'm still sorting out exactly where I'll be live streaming. I plan to start on the NBA focused channel, the basketball one. But since that channel is smaller, if people don't realize I'm streaming over there, I might switch back to the football channel. Again, just figuring out what works best. For those who want to catch the live stream, it will initially be on JWL Hoops, unless that turns out not to be the optimal approach. My goal is simply to throw a virtual party, hang out, chat about everything, watch the games, and with the playoffs, there's a ton of action. So I'm still working out exactly how this will all unfold. That's why I wanted to let everyone know, and why I'm posting this basketball video on this channel. But yes, back to the claim, the Thunder are headed for an early playoff exit. Size, sometimes when there isn't a particularly strong or compelling take, or when the dominant narrative lacks weight, then that's just how it is. Occasionally the story is simply, no, this is just a great team. We're just going to have to wait and actually watch the playoffs unfold. It doesn't have to be this forced, manufactured conversation about being destined for an early playoff exit. Look, on one hand, I appreciate this kind of framing. I've talked about this a lot. I have a love-hate relationship with these types of discussion setups. Not arguments, but discussions. Because shows like First First, honestly, any show, you need a specific question as a launching point. And I get that. I've said it before, sometimes the reaction to a segment like this is, what an insane question to even ask. And that means the show did its job, right? Not every segment can be this perfectly deep, layered analysis packed with stats, numbers, references, and all that. But then occasionally you get something like this, and you just think, what exactly are we trying to get to the bottom of right now? First, we're trying to question whether the Thunder are destined for an early playoff exit. No, they're not. And then the counter-argument becomes, well, one reason they won't exit early is because they have all this motivation, a chip on their shoulder. Come on. No. They're simply an elite team. They're a top-tier NBA squad. They're incredibly talented from the top of the roster all the way down. Well-coached, well-prepared. They compete at the highest level. Their ball movement is phenomenal. They know exactly what to do. They have the experience, the depth, and the leadership, both on and off the court, for that matter. They have the superstar. They have the enforcer. They have the big man. They have the guy who can get to the free throw line, which I know is controversial, though not to me. They have the MVP candidate. They have the player who does all the little things that no one ever really thinks about but that every team needs. They check every single box. That's what this is down to. And right now, nobody is saying, well, they only beat the Nuggets because Aaron Gordon had a bad hamstring, or they only beat the Pacers because Halliburton was hurt. I can't even remember his name right now. Nobody is talking about that at this moment. Nobody brought that up during the regular season. I didn't hear anyone seriously raise those points. Those are interesting discussions for later, as things unfold, or even immediately after the finals. I think all that is fair game. I believe it's always fair to have those conversations, because if you don't, what else are you going to talk about? You can only throw so many parades. But right now, nobody is talking about that. I don't think that narrative is hanging over the team. I don't think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is thinking, we're going to prove to everyone that we can win, that we can beat the Nuggets again, or we can win it without Halliburton getting injured. That has not been the narrative. That has not been the story of this season at all. Seriously, not at all. I don't know who's bringing that up. I haven't heard it once. So yes, the Spurs are a real threat, and people are saying, oh, the Spurs can beat them. Yeah, that's possible. Is that a chip on OKC's shoulder? I don't think so. That's just basketball. That's just competition. I mean, think about it, you have two excellent teams. Two well-coached, well-prepared squads. Two teams that clearly could win it all, and they have to face each other. I just don't see that as a chip. If I'm looking at the Bills and the Chiefs, and you say, oh, I think the Chiefs can beat them, or I think the Bills can beat them, that's not disrespect. That's just analysis. That's where they always try to manufacture disrespect. Is it disrespectful to say the Eagles could beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? No. You're talking about two elite teams heading into the Super Bowl. Is it disrespectful that the Eagles are favored? No. And then did you see the final score? Clearly not. So we need to stop doing this. We don't have to force that conversation. We really, truly don't. Yeah, I'm just excited to get through the play-in tournament. A couple of those teams are pretty interesting. And then, depending on who you face, it does feel like we're just waiting for the Spurs and OKC. Obviously, the Nuggets could disrupt that. I don't think anyone else can stand in the way of the Western Conference Finals being Thunder versus San Antonio. And if you're talking about anyone in the Eastern Conference, I just don't see the Pistons. I don't see the Celtics. I don't see the Knicks. The only team I thought actually had potential, ironically, a bizarre team to judge, is the Sixers, and that's because of Embiid. But obviously, he's not healthy. I guess if the Sixers keep winning, then maybe. But even then, I thought that would be a fascinating back and forth, having Embiid be such a major wild card in terms of what he can do, in a way that I don't think many other teams necessarily have at this moment. But OKC clearly deserves all the momentum, all the confidence, all the belief. So to even phrase a question like destined for an early playoff exit, I don't know. And I've already gone on my whole rant about the history of some of these other teams when they won, whether it was the Nuggets, the Bucks, or whatever. You're talking about teams that have been a bit of a mess, tons of roster turnover, coaches getting fired, chaotic situations. It's been messy. It's the exact opposite for OKC. The exact opposite. This is a team that slowly built up, slowly developed. They took no shortcuts. They didn't grab a random player here to make a big push, only to have that player leave or be past his prime. There's no controversy with the coach. None of that. This is a complete, balanced, elite, high-level team. So, yeah. Get ready for it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about OKC? Do you think they're destined for an early playoff exit? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So, do you agree with me or disagree? Either way, let's get into some discussions. Get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really hyped to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.